Racing and want to help you make your engine titanium strong. Try Castrol Edge, our strongest and most advanced range of engine oils yet. Visit us at castrol.ca or follow us on Facebook. Choose Castrol. It's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering. Well, Darren, as we get ready to go racing, we have two more features left this evening, and we're switching gears over to the modified class. Plenty of action here as 14 drivers will take the track, and we're going to run through them all right now. Starting on the pole, he's the rookie in this one, the 81 of Jordan Duray. On his outside, driving the A1 Environmental, it's Ian Russo from East Selkirk, Manitoba. Row 2 has the 29K of Ryan Kerlick from St. Andrews. On his outside, driving the 57, he's the KG veteran, Kevin Sexton from Lorette, Manitoba. Row 3 has the 74 of Dustin Wall from Greenbush. On his outside, driving the 1R, it's Rick Delane from Stony Mountain. Row 4 has the 5G of Scott Greer from East St. Paul. Ward Emery, driving the 10W, is on his outside. He's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. In row 5, we've got the 42 Double G of Gunnar Gust from Strathcona, Minnesota. On his outside, from Marquette, Manitoba, he's driving the number 9 Ford. That's Lee McRae. Row 6 has the 24. It's the rookie, James Wall from Winkler, Manitoba. On his outside, from Selkirk, it's the 35 of Adam Magus. And in row number 7, from East St. Paul, it's Danny Staff driving the number 7. And on his outside, from Fanistel, Manitoba, Jerome Guillot. 14 modifieds hitting the field tonight. 20 laps on the AIE communications board. It's the Big FM modified class here at Red River Co-op Speedway. So if you're following the point standings in this one, Scott Greer and Ward Emery lead the way with 158 points here for track points. Rick Delane is in third with 153, so he's just behind them going into tonight's action. Kevin Sexton and Danny Staff round out your top 5. It should be exciting. Staff, though, is going to have to make up some ground as he's near the back of the pack in this one, while the rest of the drivers are in the middle or up at the front. It looks like we're almost ready to go. Como once again looking them over. It's time to put the pedal to the metal. We are racing modifieds here at Red River Co-op Speedway. Oh, some bumping up front between Rick Delane and the 74 car of Dustin Wall from Greenbush. They're 3 wide going into the backstretch with Rick Delane in front of them. That's the race for third spot. Your leader still driving the 81. That's Jordan Duray. He's the rookie in this class. It's Duray, Russo, followed by Rick Delane. Those are your top 3. Now Kevin Sexton making a push for 4th spot, trying to get around that 74 of Dustin Wall. Oh, we've got a car that's almost off the track on turn 4. He manages to hold on. That's Adam Magus in the 35. We've got a yellow flag in this one. I didn't quite see what happened. Did you see what happened, Darren?
I did not, actually. I just ran back up here to the booth and did not see it, actually, Ken.
Why? Looks like somebody went right off the track in this one.
Just hearing across the radio, though, Ken, we understand the caution is on the 81 car. Caution on the 81.
That's Jordan Duray. He was your leader in this one. So things are about to shake up. Ian Russo was sitting in 2nd spot. Make sure you tune in, ladies and gentlemen, to CTV each Wednesday night as we feature Red River Coop Speedway in their sports section of the evening. Every week we have a Race to the Checkered Flag sports story. Great opportunity to watch some of the exciting action and find out what's going on here behind the scenes when it comes to some of these drivers. So we will reset the lineup and get ready to go racing here in the modifieds in just a few seconds. Next week, the NLRA once again coming here to Red River Coop Speedway, as well as the Street Stocks, Modified, Super Trucks, and Midwest Mods. And don't forget, we've got fireworks afterwards, so plenty of stuff for everyone to enjoy. And once again, we're going to thank some of our many sponsors: Max Sales and Service Manitoba, Accurate Scale, Urban Mine, Payne Transportation, Trans Tech, Interstate Batteries, Dr. Hook Towing, West Trans, Canadian Super Shop, Balkan & Sums Plumbing, Phil O'Reilly, Kennedy Flooring, Keewatin Trucking, JMS Motorsports, and Intel Equipment. One to green as we get ready to go back to racing action here. 18 laps on the AIE Communications board. Ian Russo now at the top spot in this one. We've got a green flag and we are racing. Rick Delane, getting bumped a little bit by Russo. Hits the wall. We've got a pileup of cars on turn one. Quite the pileup on turn number one.
Well, Ken, I did not see it. Actually, I was behind the announcer's tower just doing an errand, and I see lots of smoke and lots of carnage in turn number one.
I caught the tail end of it as I was watching the leaders, as Rick Delane, of course, was getting bumped around as he was going around turn number one himself, and watching if that was going to transpire into something else. But this on the back end of it, you can see Danny Staff's car, of course, the number 7 on top of another car. Can't quite tell which number it is right now. I'm sure we'll find out in seconds.
Looks like a number 7 involved. Hey, how about it, folks? All the drivers are A-OK over there. Good news coming from turn number one. Of course, those race cars can always be repaired or replaced, but it is good for sure that everybody is okay in turn one. Wow. 4 cars involved over there. Staff, Duray, Ward Emery,
Yeah.
and Greer. Scott Greer in the 5G as well. That's a pretty stout section of the field to be losing.
That's
there.
no kidding.
That's some pretty strong runners that aren't normally involved in accidents. Well, a good time to thank Criticare over there in turn number 1. Those are the people we pay to, well, hopefully not work each and every night. And of course, all drivers are okay in turn 1. So once again, we like to thank the people from Criticare EMS for helping out each and every week. And well, it looks like our towing crew has a big job in front of them here in turn number 1.
I think who's got the bigger job will be the pit crews for the next few days, trying to fix the mess that we're going to see.
Absolutely.
Tonight, eh?
Yeah. Well, those are not cheap race cars either. And of course, drivers do carry a lot of spare parts, but I think by looking over in turn number 1, a lot of those cars are not going to be returning here tonight. Well, don't forget, we want to invite you over to redrivercoopspeedway.ca. That is our corporate website. You can view the entire 2015 schedule. Don't forget, next week, we have the Northern Late Model Racing Association coming in, sponsored by your Prairie Dodge retailers. And Ken, what do you got for me?
Hey, we've got a 50-50 winner tonight. John from Interlake Welding and Johnson Hog Barbecue is the winner of $460 tonight. Congratulations to John. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take a little while to fix. It's a great time to go to our concession and get something to eat, or, of course, one of our lovely beverages behind the track area. So Ward Emery and Scott Greer currently leading 1 and 2 in the standings, probably both out of this race.
Yes.
That's going to be tough. Danny Staff currently sitting in 5th. He's going to probably be out of this race as well.
I understand, Ken, that all 4 of those cars apparently are going to be unable to continue. That is the word from turn number 1 on our radio right now. So not good news for those drivers, no doubt about it. They work far too hard and spend far too much money, but you know, when you're racing wheel to wheel at speeds like that, sometimes things happen, and you see it right there in turn number 1 as they tangle. And
you've done that once or twice before when you were racing at Lightning Sprint. I remember seeing you on the front stretch going a couple times, and that's open wheel once again.
Absolutely.
And it's quite scary, but in the same breath, the safety equipment you guys have is unbelievable, and you got out and walked out of the vehicle both times.
Well, no doubt about it. I mean, it has come a long way. Most of these drivers are using full containment seats now, which supports their head. They use Hans devices, which go underneath their shoulder belts, and what that does is that Hans device ties a strap to their helmets, one on either side, kind of behind their ears, let's say, and in the event of a frontal impact, well, your head kind of wants to go forward of your shoulders, and essentially your head wants to leave your shoulders and your neck, snap your neck. Well, that's what these Hans devices have done in those frontal impacts. They really, really help keep your head connected to your neck, I guess you could say best. Kind of one of those things you don't want to talk about, but factually they really do work. And of course the 5-point harnesses, some of them wearing 6-point harnesses now. Of course they have what they call that crotch strap, which goes between their legs, so if they hit something head on now, well, they can't slide out of their seatbelts out from underneath. So it is one of those deals that, well, safety's come a long way. Good race suits, I mean, good seats, good restraint, everything is good in auto racing now, and most of the guys are starting to realize that, hey, if you're going to do it at these speeds and at this level, you need to buy the best stuff.
Well, I know, talking to Rick Delane many times, he was saying when he first started racing, his racing shoes were just nothing but a pair of running shoes. His tracksuit was whatever he had in his closet that day that he could pull out. And helmet, well, that was optional. If you had an old CCM that you had from the hockey rink, that was good enough, I guess, in some ways. But things have changed, and drivers are being more careful, more cautious, and it's great to see because we don't want to see anybody getting hurt out there.
Well, you know, the funniest thing, you talk about that, even back in the late 80s, I mean, guys were wearing coveralls that they used to work on the car. So they would jump into their car with an oil-soaked pair of coveralls, and, well, if a fire lit, you know what would happen.
Well, last week when we had the fire in the Midwest Modifieds, how scary would that be if you had an oil-covered suit? So, you know, you never know what can happen when you're riding in a race car.
Absolutely. That's part of the mystique of doing that, and that's why it's not certainly for everyone. Sometimes it's better to phone the Speedway office, spend $150, get in that two-seater, and enjoy yourself for 5 laps, because that's certainly the cheapest way to go racing.
Now, when you rolled your car on the front stretch, how much time, I know a Lightning Sprint's different than a modified, but how much time do you have to spend afterwards getting it back to working conditions?
Well, it depends on the damage. See, the Lightning Sprints and sprint cars in general are a factory-built deal completely. So basically, I mean, if your credit card can support it, you basically make a call and say, I need a front axle, 2 shocks, a wing mounts, and, you know, you can get those cars back together pretty quick because they're so accessible. I mean, you take a look at a Lightning Sprint. Some of these full-bodied cars are a little more work sometime, and, you know, if you damage the frame in these, well, it can be a lot more work. So, but typically, I would say in a typical Lightning Sprint or full-size sprint crash, you might be maybe 3-4 hours to get the car back together, and that's if, you know, if everything goes well, and you still have to go through your measurements and check your ride heights and your torsion bars, and, you know, you can spend a lot of money on those sprint cars when they go upside down. A lot of times the torsion bar suspension will kind of spin backwards, and that actually what that does is take the bar, spin the torsion bar the opposite way, which it can fatigue it, and once you do that, a lot of guys just throw away the 4 torsion bars, which are essentially the springs, and then of course go on with other stuff. So it doesn't matter what kind of car you're racing, it's time and money to get it back onto the racetrack.
And it's funny talking to drivers, they'll say if they have a good week, they still may put 10 to 15, 20 hours into the car. On a bad week, you could only imagine how quickly that multiplies.
Well, for sure, you know, Mike Balkin said it best. He said, for every lap I spend on the racetrack, I spend about an hour in the shop. So you figure that out, a 15-lap feature gets you about 15 hours in the shop. And I mean, it's hard to find time for this stuff. It really, really is. You got to admire the guys that are out here and the gals spending this kind of money and putting on a great show for us each and every week. It's one of those things. Dirt track racing is awesome. It's been in my blood since the 70s, and you just can't beat it. It's just a real cool sport and very competitive, and it gets better every year. So looks like we got some activity in turn 1. Man, oh man, look at the damage over there, boy.
It's almost hard to tell whose car is who as they're crumpled up so much.
That would be certainly something to look at in the pit area following the races, wouldn't it? Maybe take a stroll down there and have a look. And there is going to be some dejected drivers and some dejected pit crews, but these guys will get back at it and get stuff fixed up and get ready for next week's Thursday Night Thunder right here at Red River Co-op Speedway.
If you are a fan of the modified class, don't forget we've got a big show coming up here in August. It is called the Big Al Delane Memorial. It is the 6th annual this year, and it is one of the best shows you can see here. It's a 2-day event, the 6th and the 7th, so it's going to be loads of fun. We're going to see the street stocks perform, the Midwest Modifieds, the Modifieds, and of course the Pure Stocks will all be racing that night. So if you're a fan of any of those classes, those are nights to come here, because, man, the Big Al Delane Memorial was exciting last year. Of course, Rick Delane ends up with a win. His brother ends up with a win in Pure Stock. So I know they're looking to repeat the two of them.
Oh, absolutely. That was a magical year for the Delane family. I mean, Al Delane Memorial, 2 wins for the brothers. It's just phenomenal.
And David Delane was looking pretty good. I do believe at one point as well. So I thought he was possibly going to win as well. So exciting night. The Big Al Delane, of course, in August. Make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be a blast this year.
And of course, we want to invite everybody over to our website, redrivercoopspeedway.ca. Also tell the kids that you can register for our Dufresne Furniture Junior Fan Club each and every week over at the Shirt Shack. Plenty of great prizes and all kinds of other cool stuff over at the Shirt Shack. That is all part of your Dufresne Furniture Junior Fan Club. Back here next week for the Northern Late Model Racing Association Late Model Special, sponsored by your Prairie Dodge retailers. Now, of course, that'll be July 2nd. July 1st is Canada Day. That is the Wednesday. July 2nd, the Thursday, So Thursday Night Thunder returning with the Northern Late Model Racing Association, and of course we'll have Big Top Fireworks and Dynasty Bathrooms supplying fireworks next Thursday. So not only are we going to see fireworks on the racetrack with the four-wheeled cars, well, we're going to see fireworks following the track race. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get it.
You finished for me.
Okay.
I apparently can't.
On the racetrack.
Yeah.
On the racetrack.
Yeah, on the racetrack.
Okay, we'll just go with that.
All right. Well, we're getting refired here and ready to go. A good job by our tow truck crew there trying to get everything in line. That was a serious wreck with lots of cars and trying to minimize the damage. Well, that's tough for those guys sometimes.
It is. Lee McRae right in front of the flag stand. He was a winner last week here in the modified class. His first victory driving that modified. Of course, he won numerous features in his truck when he was racing that a few years back, but he's excited and doing quite well this year. He says he's got the car fired up just right. Every week doing a little bit of tweaking, and last week it paid off as he won his first feature race. Well, we have 18 laps left on the board. We're short a few drivers at this point in time. Ian Russo will lead the pack in the A1 Environmental, followed by Rick Delane driving the 1R. The 74 will be in the third spot in this one. That's Dustin Wall from Greenbush. The 57 to Kevin Sexton, he's in the fourth spot, followed by the number 29K of Ryan Karaluk. McRae with the number 9 car, well, he'll be in the next spot, followed by the 24. He's the rookie, James Wall. The 48 of Gio, he's second from the end. Last but definitely not least in this one, he's driving the 42 in this one, GG, Gunnar Gust. Well, 2 down, 18 to go. We're just about ready to go racing here.
Well, Ken, we were talking about the clock located on the flag stand earlier. Of course, with that red flag, we did stop the clock. Normally under yellow, we will not stop it. Under red, well, we do. So that is the reason you see so much time left on that clock. 20 laps was the original distance, so we're about 7 minutes through. As we get set to go, 18 laps remaining on the AIE communications board. All right, a good pack of modifieds getting set to go back racing here at Red River Co-op Speedway. These are your big FM modifieds on the racetrack. 18 laps to go.
Como's looking him over. We are going green. Ian Russo on the inside. Rick Delane on the outside. It's a pair of ones up front, and Delane launches past the rest of the group. Now Karaluk tapping the back end of the A1. He's driving that 29K. Rick Delane, your leader. Followed by Russo, Karaluk, and the 74 of Dustin Wall, duking it out for the third spot. Kevin Sexton and Lee McRae. They're fighting for number 5. McRae goes to the inside. Oh, we got some touching with the 29 and the 74 on turn 2. Rick Delane building a pretty comfortable lead. Kevin Sexton now moving up the 4th spot. McRae on the inside trying to find some room. He falls back, and it's the 29 now taking the 5th spot. $14 to go in this one. Rick Delane, your leader, followed by Russo, Wall, Sexton, Karaluk, McRae. Gio, Wall. The 74 car now with the opportunity to jump ahead. He takes the inside, and we got a yellow flag in this one as somebody else goes off the track. Karaluk driving the 29K off of turns 3 and 4. We will reset the drivers and get things going again in just a few moments as Karaluk makes his way back up to the rest of the pack. We are 1 to green now. So Rick Delane, who enjoyed that pretty comfortable lead now, has got Russo in the 74 car of Dustin Wall from Greenbush. Hot on his heels once again. McRae and Sexton in row 3, followed by Gio and the 24 of James Wall from Winkler, Manitoba. The green flag's waving. We are racing. Sexton bumping around turn number 1, gets back in control, falls to 5th spot in this one. Rick Delane now your leader, followed by Wall. And what looks like Ian Russo now holding on to 3rd spot. McRae jumps to 4th, getting around Kevin Sexton. Now McRae's making a push for 2nd. He goes to the inside, trying to find a way around the 74 of Wall. Oh, we've got a spinner on 2. That's Ian Russo. We've got another yellow flag.
The caution is on the A1 of Ian Russo, the A1 Environmental Superior Asphalt. Oh, I'm having a tough time today, Ken.
One of those nights, buddy. It's one of those nights. Well, we saw some great racing tonight by the Midwest Modifieds.
We did.
And I think the Modifieds are taking a page out of the Midwest Modified book from last week.
Are they different?
Apparently. Apparently.
Well, 12 laps still remain here in your modified feature. Big FM Modifieds on the racetrack for, well, quite a bit now. However, Rick Delane and the 74 could put on a great show here in the closing laps. Lee McRae has had a good season in that number 9 out of Marquette, Manitoba. Kevin Sexton, always a factor in that Simpsons Transfer Custom EDM 57 car. Gio, 5th currently in the 48. He's out of Fanistel, Manitoba. So definitely some top runners left here in this race, Ken.
And those Gio boys have been, of course, so successful when they were racing in the truck class. Jerome, of course, driving the 48 this year, so it's exciting to watch him race. Looking, I think, for his first victory still.
Yes, he is, I believe.
Speedway, yep. McRae knocked it off the list last week. Let's see if he can do it this week. We're green flag racing as Rick Delane is up in front still. Dustin Wall opts to go to the outside of the track. McRae in third. He goes high and wide. Sexton on the inside, trying low. McRae holds on to third spot. And 11 laps to go in this feature race. This time McRae opts to go inside, tries something there. Trying to catch up to that 74 of Dustin Wall. Rick Delane with some great racing up front. He likes the high side in this one, staying up top. And McRae once again tries for the inside, trying to gain some ground. He can't. Sexton now feeling a little pressure from the 48 of Gio. Sexton goes to the inside. He holds onto a spot barely. Gio hot on his heels. Some stupendous racing by the 1R of Rick Delane. Gio now trying to make his way around the 57 of Sexton. Can't find any room. He goes high and wide. Sexton once again stays to the inside. 6 laps to go in our feature. Rick Delane, your leader, followed by the 74 of Wall, the 9 of McRae, the 57 of Sexton, and the 48 of Gio. Ryan Kerlick trying to play catch up with the 24 of James Wall. Sexton and Gio with a bit of a battle for the 4th spot. Sexton keeps holding on though. It's Delane, still your leader. With just 3 laps to go, Rick Delane still your leader. The 9 of McRae trying to make a push on that 74. It's his opportunity now to do so. He's got to make his move quick. Delane's getting the white flag in this one. There wasn't much pressure up front after he took that ginormous lead. He's your winner again tonight. It's the 1R of Rick Delane. 2nd spot, it's close. Oh, it looks like it could be the number 9 of Lee McRae. We'll have to wait for the official word on that one. Your winner in this one, it's the 1R of Rick Delane. 2nd goes to the number 9 of Lee McRae with a great push at the end to get that one. The 74 of Wall finishes up in 3rd. Kevin Sexton in the 57 gets 4th, and unofficially the 5th spot goes to the 48 of Jerome Gio. Great race for 2nd spot in this one tonight. couple of tough breaks for several drivers. Well, he has done it again. It is the 1R of Rick Delane holding that checkered flag as he makes his way around the front stretch to do an interview with our own Darren Palin. Make sure you don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We still have one more race left tonight. It is our 4-cylinder class as they're lining up on the back stretch. No stranger to victory lane. He's driving that 1R. He was the champion of the Delane Memorial last year. He has done it again here tonight with a feature win. Let's give it up for the 1R of Rick Delane. Let's throw it down to Darren Palin, who is going to do a quick interview with our winner. Darren?
Thanks very much, Ken. Rick Delane coming up on the stage here, the Interlake Mobile Welding 1R. Well, man, you must be paying rent up here or something this year because you're spending an awful lot of time in Victory Lane. Congratulations on your big win.
Thanks. First off, I don't know what happened in that turn. I hope everyone's all right. Looked pretty gnarly from where we're sitting back here. Looked like a lot of wrecked stuff, so I'm not sure what the deal was there, but ours was good. It was really good. I was a little bit out of my wheelhouse, ripping around the top like that. I'm getting too old for that around the top stuff, but the car was really good. It was, almost anybody could drive on that end. It was like asphalt over there, but this end was pretty tricky. It's like entering a cloverleaf in January, on the ice and you're going way too fast. But the car was good, and I just want to thank everyone that helps me out. Like Mobile Welding, Players, Powervac. Johnson Hog Barbecue, Westbrook Manufacturing, and everyone else that's involved in this car. Without all them, you can't do this.
All right, how about Rick Delane, your winner in the Big FM Modified Division here tonight at Red River Co-op Speedway. Fantastic job. He had that car on rails. Ken?
Thank you, Darren. We've got one to go tonight, ladies